we are just gonna jump straight into it today. Should you seek therapy? Okay, now if you're new here to my channel, my name is Patricia and I just love and enjoy doing helpful videos. I like to help everybody. I'm just a very caring person, and here on my channel, in my little YouTube family, y'all are literally my family, and I care for all of my subscribers, and I just want to put y'all on and just kind of like chat with you guys. I feel like we haven't had a chat in a while. Okay, so a common question or comment that I get from just people my age, from my subscribers, from friends, is usually about like therapy or seeking a psychologist. I feel like a lot of people at this moment, how do I put this in the best way possible? They just go through stuff, and that's normal. Everyone goes through something, and situations weigh heavy on your mind and in your heart, and so that needs to be taken care of. It's hard to be happy and like move on like free willingly without addressing certain things that could possibly hurt your feelings or made you feel some type of way. So there is where therapy usually comes into play. I feel like when people talk about therapy, they automatically assume that person is crazy, they need therapy. There is different levels of therapy. There's different levels of people. Like, yes, there's people out here who are like genuinely crazy and they do need therapy, but the therapy that they're seeking might be different than the one that you are. Okay, so me personally, I go to therapy. I see a psychologist. So I guess this is me like opening up also about that and my process, my journey, because I think that the public always sees me like smiling and so happy, and that is what I try to portray, and that is like I genuinely usually am always like laughing and smiling and stuff, but I do have my moments where I feel very down. I am human just like everybody else. I feel like a lot of people see me as this like, not a character, but just this personality here on YouTube or even like in person, because I just carry myself a certain type of way. But like I said, I have my mental breakdowns as well. I go into this little like mode where I kind of bury myself in my feelings and I feel bad. And when I feel sad, I tend to think of like a lot of things that have happened to me that have been sad. So I just get overwhelmed and overthink, and I have anxiety, and it's just like all these things. So I can relate. There's a lot of people in this generation have anxiety. So when they're like, oh, I'm just anxious, I'm like, I feel you. So I started seeking therapy when something like drastic happened in my family. And at first I was so opposed to it. And so like, I know there's people out there who are like, I've considered it, but I'm not going to therapy, because they're like opposed to it. And I was in those shoes too. So I feel like I understand that side of the spectrum as well. I was just not with it. And after a while though, I honestly went to a lot of different therapists because I just could not find somebody who was like I genuinely liked or felt like it was worth coming a second time to. So I went to quite a few. I tried different people out. It was annoying because it's like every single person, I felt like I had to re-explain what I was feeling, and at that point I was just getting frustrated because it was just too many different people I was talking to about the same thing, and I just felt like I was wasting my time, wasting their time. So I did end up taking a break from seeing psychologists, and then when I started feeling a little bit more down again and stuff, and I felt like I could use someone to talk to, I was a little bit more mature, I started therapy all over again. And this time around, I really did like the therapist that I got, and I just did like every so often I would just go and chat. And the first few times it was just, I didn't love the therapist. Like, I feel like you don't always love the person who's trying to help you because you don't see it at first. You see like, like, why am I here? I don't want to be here, but I know I need to be here. That's how you view it. But I literally promise y'all, as time goes on, it does get better. So anyways, with my therapist, at least like at the beginning, and granted, I don't know if she's going to be my therapist from here to a year, but all I know is that I feel like I do have somebody to talk to, and so far it's been more helpful than where I was. Nothing is perfect, and my situation is still not perfect. I don't feel my 100% yet, and I want to get there. I know it's a process. I know it takes time to, achieve these things. So I'm not in like I mean, maybe I should be in a little bit more of a rush, but what I'm trying to say is I'm kind of like just trusting God's timing. But the way basically I did it is I just started talking to this lady. I liked her. Some days were better than others. I have a little bit of a personality, and like in certain situations, she will kind of like tell me certain things that maybe I didn't like, and I was like I was about to walk out of that therapy session one day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling y'all, like, it's not easy, and it's not something you might love to do, because it's almost kind of like facing the fact that you have a problem, and you have a problem, and like, who wants to be in a problem in a situation? But I think that my willpower was stronger, and it was like, I need to be sitting here and listening and trying to better myself, because when you reach a hole and you've been in that hole for so long, at some point you want to come out, and coming out is not going to be easy, like coming out of that hole, but it needs to be done. So, I think that just having somebody to talk to, and granted, I didn't tell her everything that was going on, but I would tell her some things, and it just like helped relieve that pressure. So for example, she'd be like, how's school? And I'd be like, oh, I'm stressed with school, but work is good, and yada yada yada. And there might be other things weighing me down, right? But also, like, remember, it's a business for them, and they have a set amount of time, and so like I just try to get the biggest things out, and that's it. But at least just like being able to like share how I feel, it makes any other problem I have like in my life a little bit less. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as stressed because I don't have, instead of 10 problems, let's say now I have 5. I think it also makes you view things differently. I think I've matured a lot from going to therapy. So in relation to like, should you go to therapy? Should college students go to therapy? Should any age group go to therapy? I think yes. I think it doesn't hurt to talk to somebody. It definitely doesn't hurt to talk to somebody who's not going to be biased, who is not looking for their best interest, because unfortunately that is the world we live in. When you go to a loved one for advice or an opinion or this and that, they're looking at you with eyes of love, so the advice might be a little bit different. If you go to a friend, they might give you a whole other advice, because unfortunately there are so many shady friends, and sometimes you don't even know it, and they might be telling you to do one thing that's going to make you look bad just that they look better. So it's kind of like a little bit refreshing to be able to tell your problems to a stranger, but that that stranger is going to help you. And that's really how I see therapy, because if you tell your problems to a stranger, they're going to be like, that's why you usually tell your friends and family. But most likely you're going to get either biased, or you're going to get like a selfish response. And I'm not saying everyone or always, but I'm just saying that sometimes. But talking to a stranger that won't do these things, I feel like that is the biggest perk from therapy. So in relationship to like, should college students go? If you're in college, you're probably very stressed out, and college is expensive. So granted, there's kids out here who are in college who are also working. So I know it can be very hard. Even if you're just out here working and not going to school, the way the economy has gotten, and just everything going up, and all the politics and stuff, like, that's stressful within. I mean, that's stressful just itself. If you have kids, if you have a responsibility, like, I get it. Life has gotten really stressful. It's not as easy as maybe it was at one point. So it's important that you feel your 100%, right? Because things are constantly changing with or without you. And so you need to be able to adapt and excel, okay? You need to adapt and still be able to do good. Still know that, like, not limit yourself, not, put yourself in a hole. And just kind of like take things a little bit more with a breeze. If so-and-so wants to be your friend, great. If they don't, they don't. One thing my therapist taught me is that, like, you have to make your own decisions and do what's best for you, okay? Because I have a really good heart, and I'd be doing too much for other people, and then people don't do it for me. And I hate that. So you have to kind of like, that's why they always say, like, 2023, it's your selfish, I don't want to just say girl, because I don't know if there's any boys watching me, but like, it's your selfish era. This is about you and what's best for you. And if you're a college student and work or whatever it is that you do, whether it's one or the other, both, none, I don't know, but you still feel some type of stress, you need to release that. You need to let it out. And therapy can't, like, what harm can it really do is basically what I'm trying to say. Like, you try it out, you don't like it, you try it again, and eventually, you know, the biggest thing here is to obviously like not give up. But aside from that, I'm just gonna leave it there. If y'all have any like questions or concerns, go ahead and let me know. Obviously I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I am literally just a girl who goes to therapy, but that is about it. And you're not crazy, you're not anything just because you go. I think it's very healthy, therapeutic, productive to seek, you know, just like advice or someone to talk to who is not biased and who isn't going to steer you the wrong way. That's basically my point. All my sessions don't involve me crying. All my sessions don't involve me saying, you know, everything bad. There's sometimes where I'm like, I don't have any problem at this moment. I don't, you know, but just having somebody to talk to, that's a big one. So yeah, I'm just trying to put you on, and I think you should try it, but obviously you guys do whatever is best for you. I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.